My name is Ed Flathers, and I'm a PhD student on the REACCH project. I'm working with Paul Gessler on Objective 8. And what I'm going to talk about just briefly is kind of a conceptual overview of how you're going to go about getting data into and out of and working with data in the REACCH data repository. So this is kind of a picture of a draft version of the front page. I think that Eric will be giving a more in-depth technical demonstration of this capability tomorrow. And I believe that Eric is going to be spending some time doing demos, I'm not exactly sure where, but in this room, I think, throughout the conference. So I think there will be a lot of opportunity to see what's going on here. But what I want to talk about from a high-level perspective is the kind of the data lifecycle of research data that REACCH researchers are developing and trying to use. From the perspective of the REACCH data portal that we put together. So what I've got here is kind of this whole series of kind of lifecycle steps from upload, tag, publish, discover, maintain. And I want to go over each one of those steps just quickly. So the first thing is uploading data. So you've developed some data set from your research that might be an Excel spreadsheet, it might be an ArcGIS map, it might be some kind of video file or text file, survey data, whatever it is. You can take those data and you can compile them together and upload them to the portal over the web. And then we're going to ask you to do some, as Eric said, meta tagging of this data. So what we want you to do is to be able to take any one of your given data products and then answer some basic questions about it. You know, the kind of journalism questions: who, what, when, where, why, how. How did you get this data, and what instruments did you use, and what kind of units did you measure? You know, whatever measurements you made. Those kinds of questions are what we're interested in when we're talking about meta tagging. Who are you, and where are you from? So far we don't have a lot of requirements on the sort of the sophistication or the quantity of meta tagging that you have to do for a particular data set, but there are some minimal requirements. So this is kind of just a static view of the management interface that allows you to go in and do that kind of thing. From this interface, hopefully you can see down here, there's a little button that allows you to submit a data set, and this is kind of the first step in publication here, is that once you've established a good set of meta tags for a data set, you have the ability or the option to try to publish that data set so that it can be consumed by other REACCH researchers or other researchers within your objective or outside your objective, or maybe members of the general public. As Eric said, we'll have to have some discussions about exactly the level of sharing that we want to engage in and how specific we want to be about those rules per data set. So you can submit data to be published, and there will be some sort of content moderator sort of person who will just kind of double check that you have your meta tags, that your data set is there and works. And then we can make your data available for discovery. And what you see here is a simple search page that shows, in this case, kind of a keyword search that you can do up here. So you can search according to things like the title of the data set, or the person who originated the data set, or keywords, that kind of thing. And then down below you see here's a map, and you've got some little red boxes here that are showing sort of a geographic view of the data that are being displayed. So not only can you do kind of keyword-based search, but you can also do spatial type searches on data that have been stored in the catalog. And the last step, which I don't have a slide for, but the last step is maintenance of the data and the metadata. I know a lot of us are gathering data, and we might gather a little more data this year and next year, and we may be, over time, compiling these data into one large data set. So what we would hope is that as time goes on and as you continue to accumulate data, that you would update the data set that is existent within the repository so that, again, your colleagues can have the most recent data that you want to make available to them. And as you go through that process, we'd like you to also be maintaining and updating any of the meta tags that may need updating, which oftentimes when you do these kinds of things, as soon as you get kind of a first stab at it, it usually remains fairly static after that, and you probably don't have to put a great deal of effort into maintenance of the metadata. But that's kind of the high-level overview of the data lifecycle, and tomorrow, like I say, we'll talk a little bit more about the data portal and the rest of the website, and we'll actually go through and do a technical demonstration of uploading data and making it go. And Eric has his live demos that he's going to be working on throughout the conference, and I'll have a poster out in the poster display area talking more about exactly the process that we went through to get to this point with the data portal. So hopefully it's of some use to everyone, and I'll be happy to talk to anybody who has any questions about it. Thank you.